heard something about someone said, you make time for the things that are important. You know,
100%.
like you put your family first because that's what's most important. So is
Mm-hmm.
fitness important? Is your health important? That's where you're going to put it on the list.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And I mean, like I had, I don't know if you saw, but I posted.
Welcome to Keeping Tabs. I'm Tabitha Croc, and every Monday, I talk to someone here in North Idaho with the goal to connect more people in the Coeur d'Alene area. And then every Friday, I talk to someone outside the community to bring in a new perspective and to learn a little bit about yourself.
Good morning. I have Josie with me today, and we're going to talk about her and what she's doing in the community, about her fitness. I have been following her for a little bit. We've been following each other on social media, but she is located in Hayden. Is that where your business is?
Yes, ma'am.
She is in Hayden Lake. So she is a North Idaho business owner, fitness guru. I want to talk about your 75 hard a little bit too as well. But tell me about you and what you're doing and who you are.
Okay, so I'm obviously Josie Coder, and I have been a personal trainer for 3 years about. I made my own fitness journey years ago. My highest weight was 185, and I mean, I hated who I saw in the mirror. I didn't even recognize myself, and my now boyfriend at the time was just my best friend, and he was like, "Get up, go to the gym. We're not doing this. Like, you deserve better." And it just kind of sparked this fire in me that like, you don't have to hate what you see in the mirror, and you can get to the other side. And it just made me kind of pack up everything I was doing and dive into fitness wholeheartedly. So been doing it.
So what were you doing before you started your fitness stuff?
So I was a barista for 8 years. I've worked in many stands around the community, but the main thing that I want to do is actually to be a vet tech.
Oh, really?
Kind of shocking. I was a vet tech for 2 years, and I hated it. I hated it. It's not what it's cracked up to be. And I think that a lot of people kind of had this idea in their head of what they want their lives to look like when they're young. And then they get into that spot and they're like, this is not what I wanted.
Oh, for sure. And I think we have that in the community. We have is it C-Tech or whatever that tech school is.
K-Tech, yeah.
Yeah. K-Tech. And so what I love about it is that it like exposes younger individuals to these careers before they fully get into whether it's vet tech. I mean, I thought I was going to be a school teacher. And I was like, nope, this isn't for me, because I started to do it. And I was like, this isn't what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And I think that's super important to realize, just because like at a younger age, you're like, oh, I'm going to be a vet tech. And then you're like, actually, I'm not passionate about this. This is not getting me excited to get out of bed each day. So it does that for you now.
Yes, it does. We are at the gym by 5 a.m. every morning. We train nonstop until about like 1, maybe noon, depending on the day. And then take a break for lunch, and we're right back at it until like 5 or 6.
Man, that's awesome. And where are you at in Hayden?
So we are in a private training facility. So it's not technically a gym. It's a 2,500 square foot space. We've got a big garage door. We're down off of Lyle Loop in Hayden. So it's kind of tucked back by the airport. It's kind of cool. The loop that we were actually located on is a perfect 1/4 mile. So it's like having our own little track outside, which my clients love. Yeah. And then, we've been there we just celebrated our 1 year.
Well, congratulations. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
That's really great. So, what decided, so you got on this, I want to lose weight, I want to be healthy, I want to feel good. What was the switch to like, okay, now I think I want to make this more than just like my fitness journey, what made you want to make it your career?
Other people actually did. I had a couple people approach me and they're like, why aren't you training other people? And I was like, nobody's going to listen to me. Why would anybody listen to me? What do I know? And they're like, well, obviously you know enough to get here, which is better than most people are doing. And so I was just like, well, I don't really think that I could do it, but we'll see. And so I just asked a couple of people like, hey, want to come train with me and just like be my guinea pigs? And they loved it. And so I was like, okay, I can get my certification while I'm training these people. And so I just started working on my certification on the side, and eventually I had too many clients to do the coffee and the gym. And so I had to make a choice, either go full time and follow my dreams or stay comfortable.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. And that's that point, like, do you stay comfortable with things, or do you think about that and then become really happy to enjoy it? And you're doing fantastic, and probably changing a lot of people's lives. And I think the best thing about what you have is that you can actually connect with these people and say, I've been there. I've been the one battling food or battling getting out of bed. Like, they can actually connect with you. Because sometimes when you go to a trainer, you're like, oh my gosh, this fit person, they're going to judge me, or, so if you can talk to someone that's been through the trenches.
Yeah. I've had somebody say, well, you've always been fit. And I'm like, when? Show me when I was always fit, because that's not true at all. I can show you the pictures. Like, yes, did I play sports? For sure. But did I hit a low point in my life just like everybody else? Absolutely. Like, I'm not special. This isn't a journey that you can't achieve. You're 100% capable of it. You just have to make that first step and choose to do that.
Exactly. So you just finished a program. It's called, I think, the 75 Hard. And I've heard about this through a lot of people. People either doing the 75 Hard, or like 30-day Whole Foods, like these, like, just short, 75 is not short. 30 days is 75. How do you do that? Like, I've gone hard for like 2 months where I'm like, I'm not doing this and this. And I afterwards was like, I'm going to binge everything. How do you do this? And like, talk a little bit about this program you just did.
Okay, so 75 Hard was created by Andy Frizella, who is also the owner of the First Form supplement company that I work for. When I became a part of First Form a couple months ago, it became very apparent that this 75 Hard thing was in everybody's life. I mean, everybody talked about it. Like, hey, how's day 46? Oh, good, I'm on day 22. And I was just like, what are you guys talking about? Yeah. And I remember I had a friend do it last summer, and I was like, you're crazy. And then I sat down and I looked at it, and I was just like, I'm gonna fucking do that. Like, I was like, why can't I do that? I already do half of it anyways. Yeah. I already work out every day. I already drink a gallon of water every day. I loved it. Adding the 10 minutes of reading. So there's all these tasks that you have to do every single day, right? You have to read 10 pages. You have to work out 2 45-minute workouts. And one of those workouts is required to be outside, which you can imagine, it's December in North Idaho. So it's not the best time. But it's supposed to build this mental toughness to force you to push through it. You can do this. Is it going to be fun? Nope. Are you going to like it? Probably not, but you can do it and you can complete it. So it was tough in between clients and training and making myself set apart that time every single day. Cause I mean, I'm the first person to say, like, I trained 15 people today. I don't have time to work out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, what does that tell the one person that didn't come in today because she had errands to run? Yeah. That tells her that that's okay. Yep. It's prioritizing what's important to you in your life. And I just decided that this program was important to me and I wanted to complete it. Luckily, I have Johnny by my side to do it with me, but.
Yeah, and I think you made a good point. You talked a little bit on your Instagram about there's never a good time to start something like this in because our lives. There's a birthday party, there's Christmas, there's holidays. There's always an excuse to be like, well, I'll do it next month. But then there's a birthday party, or there's an event, or you're going to be drinking or eating bad food. Like the great point was like, there's never a great time to start something like this.
There's not. And, I mean, when we sat down and we decided, well, we're going to start this day, because I'll be honest, I wanted to have a glass of wine on my birthday. So I was like, I'm not starting on my birthday. So we started the day after my birthday. Well, we're sitting there and I'm like, now we're going to miss Halloween, and we're going to miss Thanksgiving, and we're not going to have any snacks, and, we can't go drinking with our friends. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, but when could you go? Mm-hmm. Please go through the schedule and find me 75 days where you can guarantee that there's no holiday, there's no event, there's no friends, it just doesn't exist, guys. That's not how life works. It's going to keep chugging along whether you decide to or not.
And I think that's super important, even if you're not doing 75 Hard and you're just getting a trainer, or you're working out or going to the gym or making a routine of fitness. Like, there's never a great time. Like, and every day brings a new challenge. how do you work through that with some of your clients and things like that?
I always try to remind them why they're there. If you're just trying to do the daily motions of, well, I'm here because I have to be here, or I came to my appointment because I paid Josie and now I have to be here. That's not going to keep you doing it. That's not going to push you past those days where you lack motivation. You need discipline in those days. Your discipline comes from your why. If you don't have a solid foundation as to why you are doing that, and if your why is to fit into a pair of jeans, more power to you. Get them jeans. But you need a why, whatever that is. You're not going to stick with it if you don't. And you're working towards a pointless goal if not. You're not even going to feel fulfilled once you do get there.
Yeah, that's so true too. I mean, I've worked in the fitness community a lot, and so I've heard that a million excuses. My favorite excuse is, which I want to hear yours, but one of my favorite excuses when I was working in the fitness community was, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm eating exactly like you told me to. And I was so what's in your coffee? What do you put in your coffee? Like it's all those those hidden calories.
Yep.
Oh, I just put some cream. I'm like, do you put a cup of cream or a splash of cream, a tablespoon?
Yeah.
So
I always tell my clients, look me in the eye while you lie to me.
Exactly. And I'm like, I think you have a lot of calories you're not counting. And so what is the excuse you hear all the time that, like, I guess you're like, drives you crazy maybe?
Honestly, I don't have time. I don't have time. I'm the busiest person in the whole wide world and I don't have time. Okay. Well, Tabitha gets 24 hours today, and I get 24 hours today, and Andy Frizella gets 24 hours today, and Ed Milet gets 20. Like, you guys, it's how you utilize that time. It's how you prioritize what's important. And if fitness is important to you, if this journey truly means as much to you as you're saying that it does, then you will make it a priority and you will find the time.
Yeah.
It's not impossible.
Exactly. And I heard something, I was listening to a podcast and I heard something about someone said, you make time for the things that are important. You know,
100%.
like you put your family first because that's what's most important. So is fitness important? Is your health important? That's where you're going to put it on the list.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And I mean, like I don't know if you saw, but I posted on my Instagram story last week, I posted a video of me tracking my food. And I posted the next line, and I waited until like 100 people had viewed it. And some of my clients were those 100 people. And the next one I put was, so wait, you don't have time to track your food, but you had time to watch my story of me tracking my food? And I had a client come in and she's like, I didn't like that.
Ouch.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. Well, why didn't you like that? And she's like, I don't know. I just didn't like it. And I was like, I know why you didn't like it.
Because I called you out.
Hit a little too close to home, didn't it? And she just looked at me and she's like, okay, you're right. I was like, I know I'm right. Now go do it. Like,
now track your food, whether you're especially with those, we have these phones, like it's so easy to track everything. And like you just
scan barcode scanners. How much easier can it get? Like, it plugs it in for you.
Exactly.
Don't tell me you don't have time.
Exactly.
So Jillian Michaels has time? No.
Exactly. All of those people. And they have full-time businesses, writing books, podcasts, kids, family. They have all of it. Yeah, they have the money to get some help from some of it.
100%.
But they also work their tails off too to be where they're at.
Yep. You just have to make the time for what's important to you. If it matters enough, you'll be at the gym when you're supposed to be and you'll track your food like you need to. And sometimes you have to have that shitty conversation and be like, look, you're not following the plan.
Yep. I don't know why I'm not losing weight. I bet I can tell you.
Okay, let's start over. Are you sure? Because yes, you do. Like, I mean, I had to have that conversation with a client 2 weeks ago. We sat down and I had them retake their progress pictures after 6 months. Okay. They work out every day. Those should be significant changes in those pictures if you're following the game plan. Take the pictures. I was like, huh? So we all sat down and we had a little meeting and I was like, look, this conversation is going to suck. I'm not going to lie to you guys because it's not my job. That's not why you pay me. That's not why you come here. You guys should have seen huge results.
6 months. Yeah.
So something's not adding up. The equation's foolproof. If you follow the plan, it will work.
Yeah.
And it didn't. Which means you didn't follow the plan. Like, and I'm not attacking you. I'm not calling you out, but I'm saying like we can't address, getting to that point if we're not willing to address how we're here.
Yeah. And I think some people want that, like, there must be something wrong with me. My hormones must be off, or I have something that's a little bit deep. They want to have like that excuse to be like, oh, I can't lose weight because of X, Y, Z. When it's really
so much easier just to blame a crutch,
Yeah. And like fitness, it's really quite simple. Like you burn more calories, you eat less calories, you're going to lose weight. It's pretty simple.
Yeah. We call it easy hard. It's an easy plan. It's set right in front of you step by step, but it's hard work. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you're going to have fun. Like it's hard. You have to work for it.
Yeah. And you can get in the gym and you can run your tail off. And I mean, I'm guilty. I'm a runner. So I could run 20 miles, but I could come back and overeat. And you know what I mean? Like I would stay the same.
Yeah.
I mean, usually my running is not for that, but it's like, that's exactly how it is. Like you can't outrun that. Your nutrition.
Yeah. You cannot outrun a bad diet. It's going to catch up to you every single time. Exactly. And alcohol, oh my God. If you're trying to do anything with fitness, stop drinking. Just stop. Just throw it out the window. Don't touch it. That's it. Move on. Just don't even talk about it. That's just it.
I run so I can have the drink.
See? And people are like, Josie, I don't understand why I'm not making progress. I'm like, because you're just running off that wine you had last night, girlfriend. Like, you're maintaining your bad habits. You're not working towards something.
Exactly. So you're I love how straightforward you are with your clients. You're super inspirational, honest. I think that's what everyone needs in their life, whether they want to or not admit it. What inspires you to kind of be your best self?
My clients probably, like, I think that there are so many, and this is not to trash any person out there. I think anybody who's a trainer or helping anybody, achieve fitness or whatever, that's great. I feel like there's so much, it's going to sound silly, support that it's almost too much support. When people come to you and they're looking for somebody to help them get to that point, they're not looking for somebody to sit there and pat them on the back every time they do a squat. They're looking for somebody to do that squat and be like, hey, that was a great squat, but I need you to squat lower.
Yeah.
That was a really good workout, but I need you to work harder.
Or I need you to give me 20 extra squats.
Exactly. Like I need you to push outside of that comfort zone. And if I feel comfortable, then the odds are that they feel comfortable and they're not pushing outside that comfort zone. And nothing great ever happens within the freaking comfort zone.
Nothing.
If it doesn't exist. And so it's like, if we're going to achieve these goals, guys, I have to be honest with you. If I'm not being honest with you, I'm doing you a disservice. And if I'm not staying on top of my physical fitness, how are you supposed to believe anything I say? What trust does that build between us if I'm not even following the game plan?
Keeps you both accountable. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I mean, if anybody looked at me and told me what to do, like, you wouldn't go to a hairdresser that had bad hair, would you? No, you wouldn't. So the same thing is true with training, right? Like nobody's going to come in if I'm sitting there eating a bag of chips at the door and overweight. Like everybody's going to be like, I'm not taking advice from you.
Exactly.
And you shouldn't.
I agree 100%. That's fantastic. So you're from Coeur d'Alene area, North Idaho. What is and it doesn't have to be healthy, but what is your go-to maybe favorite restaurant in the North Idaho area?
Oh my gosh, Saute. And if you haven't been, go.
Oh yeah. I always forget about that place. Because it's in such a weird location. But when I'm going through like, oh, I want to go out on a date night or I want to go eat good food, I'm like downtown, 4th Street. Like I kind of like think about the streets and Riverstone, but I always forget about it because it's like in the weirdest spot.
Low key, it's tucked back in there. There's a nice little bar you can go sit up at. Oh, it's perfect.
And the food and the wine is
yeah. Oh, I don't count my macros on those days. If we're going to Saute, just put the phone away. I don't want to know. I don't need to know.
It is a cheat meal. We're not even going to talk about it because you can't even log all that deliciousness.
No, I wouldn't be able to move afterwards.
So outside of being fit and doing fitness and training, and I know fitness is very important to you, what are some of your hobbies outside of your fitness routine in life?
Hobbies. My dogs. My dogs run my life. I actually have two. I have an American Bulldog named Dozer. He's 9. And then Cece is a little French Bulldog that we just got in May of this year. And she's a handful too. But we like to hike, anything outdoors, any type of traveling. We love to snowboard. We're really big snowboarders.
Where do you guys go?
Schweitzer.
Do you get the season passes?
We actually are super, super fortunate. My boyfriend works for Bill's Heating and Cooling, and they buy season passes for the company every year.
I love when companies do that, like corporate passes, because I think it's such a great way to give back to your employees.
I'm like, that's the best bonus I've ever heard of.
It's expensive.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is our 2nd year snowboarding where we have not had to purchase a pass at all.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, that's amazing. I'm like,
Especially
if you know how much passes are. Yeah. I mean, Schweitzer passes were $800 this year on sale. Like, yeah, they're nuts.
Yeah. I'm a big Lookout fan. I love Lookout Pass.
Yeah. I love their snow.
It's always
a lot.
We're supposed to have a really snowy January. So
are we? I know. I'm like looking outside today, watching all the huge flurries. I'm like, oh my gosh, about time.
Yeah, and it's kind of like that wet snow. So if anytime it's wet snow down here, it means it's like nice snow in the mountains.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
So if you had a billboard in North Idaho, it could be anywhere, it could be whatever, what would you either like write on it or put on this big billboard?
That is an interesting question, Tabitha. What would I write on the billboard? It's a little profane, sorry. I love it. Do the shit that sucks.
Yeah.
In every area of your life, it's not just fitness. People think that when I talk about that, they're like, oh yeah, I should do the lunges even though I hate them. Yeah, well, you should probably also check your bank account that you're avoiding too. And you should also probably have that conversation that you've been shying away from for a while. And you should also probably pay that bill that you have been ignoring for a while. Like, you guys, do the shit that sucks in every aspect of your life. That's what's going to help you get better.
Gosh, I'm gonna put that on my board next time.
Do the shit that sucks right behind you.
I'm going to. So whoever I interview next, I'm gonna have that on the board.
In case you need reminded.
And I'll just put your name underneath it. Just your little handle for your Instagram.
I love it. I know. I yell it at my clients all the time.
So when you started your career into fitness, is there something that you wish someone would have told you before you started it?
Before I started fitness?
Like you started your like training and like being owner of a gym. Like, is there something someone like, hey, Josie, you need to remember this when you're going into this career? Or, hey, this is going to suck and you're going to do this, or don't do this and avoid this.
There's probably a couple things that somebody could have said. I mean, nobody expects to go through a global pandemic in their first year of business. So that was kind of rough. Yep, honestly, probably that nobody's ever going to care as much as you do. And it's a fact. It is what it is. Nobody is ever going to care as much as you do. And so nobody cares about the gym as much as I do, which is fine. You shouldn't. And I don't think anybody cares about my clients, including my clients, as much as I do. And that's fine. And I've had to learn that, I'm a little more invested in some of these journeys than the people themselves. And you can't force somebody to do it. They're going to either make the choice to do it or not.
Yeah. And I think I heard that from, do you listen to Gary Vee? So he's like a motivational speaker. He talks about business and stuff. And that's something he actually talks about. Is that, you want people to be invested in your company as much as you are, but they won't. Like, you have to remember, no one's going to be as excited as you are. No one's going to want to work as hard as you are, because it's yours and it's like your passion. And so it's hard to sometimes realize, like, yes, this person's not going to work as hard for you because they don't want it as bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So I used to have like trainers and like, they wouldn't like pick up the weights and put them back. And to me, I'm like, that's so simple. Pick up the weights and put them back, right? Like, why do you even? But
I go to the gym. I just get mad about that.
Freaking gym etiquette for anybody watching this. Put your damn weights back. But I had to take a step back, and I was like, well, it's not their stuff. They didn't buy it. They don't know what that costs. They don't know what that bar costs. They don't know, like, they don't care because they didn't do it. It's not their investment. It's my investment. It's my job to put it away. This is my stuff.
Yes. Is there something that like maybe you've failed at? And it can be in business, it can be in life, it can be in fitness. There's something that failed at that you kind of really learned a lot about yourself.
I have to pick one. I have to pick one failure.
I asked that question. Some people are like, which one are we going to talk about?
I'm like, oh, good Lord. One? Yeah, honestly, I was in a high school relationship for all of high school. We met in the 8th grade, and you know, you're young, you're stupid. It's gonna last forever. That changed me. I mean, coming out of that and looking back, I'm just like, who were you? You weren't setting your values. You weren't living every single day true to yourself. You couldn't even look in the mirror and recognize who you were. So coming out of that, I mean, I truly considered that a huge failure in my life at that time. Like I was like, we have to get married. This has to be the dude that I'm with forever, right? It was a goal at that point. And then when it failed, I was so like, who am I? Who do I want to be in this world? And so it took me a long time to kind of sit down and be like, okay, this is what matters to me. This is what I value. And this is what I want out of my life. And I'm going to go freaking get it. And if that would have never happened, I mean, honestly, I'd probably still be in a crappy relationship. I'd probably still have a lot of toxicity in my life. And I definitely would not be into fitness. I can guarantee you that.
Isn't that crazy how like we have all these plans, like we were saying about careers, even like how you think you're going to be a teacher or you think you're going to do this and how you think you have it all mapped out and ready to go. And like, it's completely different in a year.
Yeah, you have no idea what's going to happen. I mean, the best advice I could possibly tell you is put one foot in front of the other and just keep going. No matter what happens, just keep going because it'll get better. It'll work out exactly how it's supposed to. Nothing stays shitty forever.
Yep, exactly. Do you think that people have like, you know, obviously you're doing something you're passionate about and you love, but you're also really good at. Do you think people, like anybody, has kind of like a purpose in life? And if so, do you think this is yours?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that everybody has a purpose in life. I think that you spend most of your life trying to find that purpose. I'm super fortunate where I was able to find it early on. I do think that. I think that people should not stop searching until they do find that purpose. If you don't go to bed happy with what you did with that day, start fresh the next day until you are.
I love that. So if someone's wanting to reach out to you, wants to train with you or learn more about your studio or anything about what we're talking about, or, you know, is interested in signing up for training, how do they get a hold of you? How do they find you?
Most people message me directly. My phone number is on like way too many social media platforms. So anybody can contact me at any time. But yeah, most of the people who text me, message me. The Grind Fitness Club does have its own social media platform. Some people like to go through there. That's totally fine too. Shocker. I'm the person behind it. So you're still getting me directly. It's absolutely no different. But yeah, people can go to thegrindfitness.com. They can go to the Grind Fitness page on Facebook. They can go to the Grind Fitness on Instagram, or people just swipe up on my stories and say, hey, I want to come work out. And I'm like, about time, let's do this.
They're like, all right, I think I can handle it. Let's do this.
Well, it's so funny. People come into their first workout and they're like, all right, don't kill me. I'm like, man, that's what I was going to do. Honestly, you guys, I'm not going to kill you. I want you to come back.
Exactly.
It's like, I want you to keep coming. I'm not going to just like murder you the first day in.
And then you can't walk and you're hurt and then you're injured and then you go back 10 steps instead of going back.
This is exactly why you hired a trainer. Because if you went by yourself, you would go and you're like, man, I haven't been to the gym in 2 years. So I'm going to do everything that I should have done for 2 years today.
That's so true too.
And then they don't go for 2 weeks because they're so goddamn sore they can't walk.
Yep.
And then they walk up to the gym that next time and they walk up to the door and they're like, oh,
here we go.
I don't want to do this. And they'll talk themselves out of it every time. And you're not weak. You're fucking normal.
Exactly.
That's a normal thing, guys. Like you're not failing. Any human would do that. Like The goal is to slowly work yourself into a routine that's maintainable for you. That's the goal. If you want to go power cleaning 200 pounds, awesome. Eventually we'll get there. If that's your goal, that's your goal. I'm here to make your life easier. I'm here to show you that your body can work with you, not against you. How counterproductive would that be if I just made you wobble out to your car after your first day because you couldn't walk? Like, you'd be like, this doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. So what is your favorite way of like working out? What's your go-to, or what's something that you really love? I mean, there's days I do working out. Like, I don't like working out my shoulders and my arms. Like, it's just not something I love. I do it. But is there something you're like, oh, I look forward to this kind of workouts?
I mean, I love leg days just because my legs are obviously my strongest piece. But to be honest with you, my absolute favorite days are high intensity days. I love the days where I'm like slamming a tire and then I get to grab a sledgehammer and hit something a million times. And then like I have my bag that I can pull my bag across. And I mean, I love that kind of stuff. I have gotten more into the like powerlifting type thing. It's not for me. It's a good way to build muscle, but it's definitely not my favorite. But guess what, Tabitha? Do the shit that sucks, so that's why I'm doing it.
You want the results, so you're like, I know what's gonna happen when I do this.
Yeah, I'm like, look, it's no different. I wouldn't preach it to you if I didn't do it too. Mm-hmm. Do I like power cleans? Fuck no.
Yeah, and I used to like
every week. Yep.
I used to lift heavier stuff, but then I started to get in my 30s and I was like, oh, my back's starting to hurt. So I do a lot of like lower intensity stuff, but I'm the same way. I was like, I would do this because I wanted the results and what it brought to me.
Yeah, which is fine. If that's what keeps you motivated, then hell yeah, work towards that. Yeah. Like I had somebody bring me a picture one time. There was no head to it. It was just a picture of a girl's body. And I was like, what is this? And she goes, this is what I want to look like. And I was like, okay. We taped it up on the mirror and it stayed there. And I was like, see it, get it, visualize it, do that.
Goal. I love it.
I'm like, I can't snap my fingers and make you look like that, but shit, it's right there. You can reach that goal if you want it.
Oh, I love that. So last question. We're going through a global pandemic. It has been the craziest year I've ever dealt with my life. It's just been a crazy, and you're probably dealing with it. People are dealing with depression, anxiety, all kinds of things. What is a piece of advice? And I know you said a couple of them that could pertain to this, but like, what's a piece of advice you could give someone going through this right now as the year finishes up?
I mean, honestly, and I've already told this to a lot of clients that have struggled this year, move your body. Move. I cannot possibly express how important it is for you to move your body. And I mean, obviously, if you're my client, I say move your ass, but I won't yell that at you guys.
My poor listeners are going to be like, oh gosh.
I know, they're like, who is this woman? Don't worry.
Let's go outside and start running.
I know. No, just move. I mean, even if you're in your house and you're doing some squats and lunges, walking up and down those stairs, find some cans and do some curls. I mean, it doesn't matter, but you need to move your body. You can't just sit locked in a house, sitting on a couch. You guys, it is essential to our mental health that we move. We are built to be mobile people. Like, it will make you feel better, both physically and mentally. It will help your energy levels. It'll help those body aches. It'll help depression. Like, you can't just sit stagnant. Your momentum is going to follow wherever you're pushing it. So if you're pushing your momentum down, you're gonna sit on that couch, you're sitting around not doing anything, you're gonna continue to do that. That's where your momentum's heading. That's where it's gonna go. If you're up and you're constantly moving and you're going for walks and you're doing push-ups if you can, and you're doing squats when you can, guess what? You're building that momentum to continue to go in the right direction this time. That's actually benefiting your health instead of just pushing you down farther into that hole of depression.
So true. I got advice from a 95-year-old woman. We share the same birthday. We're 60 years apart. So that was one of her things. And I said, what is the key to like a long, happy, healthy life? Yeah, and she's had her ups and downs, but she's, for the most part, is a 95-year-old woman in great health for a 95-year-old woman. But she said the two things, one was just always stay positive, to always like find the positive, and the other one was to move your body. And I was like, she's like, I walk my dog, I go swimming. Like, that is why she's 95 and in pretty dang good health.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be extreme. It just has to be consistent. Just move. That's it. Even if it is something as simple as going for a walk. Awesome. Do it.
Walks have saved me during COVID. Like, anytime I started to feel anxious, I would go for a 2-3 mile walk and feel fantastic.
I know my poor dog's like dragging his back feet, like, Mom, I'm done walking. Please take me home. Like, it's good for you. Come on.
You're fine.
You're fine. You're only 9. You got it.
Well, Josie, thank you so much for giving me your time today.
Dude, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to Keeping Tabs. I'm Tabitha Crock, and every Monday I release a podcast about different community members here in North Idaho. And then we end the weeks on Fridays with a podcast about the things I'm passionate about: outdoors, adventures, sports, the van life, and even current events. So if you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube, Spotify, or iTunes. Thank you again. Now go be kind and do something great.